I don't want to deal too much on this particular one, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm attacking this in any way. But I think one of the issues that we're just going to have to address head on as Board of County Supervisors are the proclamations. This has become, and this is we touched on it a little bit here in the back and forth on not understanding who this group is. Does it encompass my ideas or the things that I believe in or the things that my constituents believe in? And this just goes into a line of, this one in particular, this isn't a great example of it, but there's been other ones previously that have just politicized this board in a way that we shouldn't be there. But I also respect the ability of the need for Supervisor Bodie to recognize groups that he feels as supervisor are worthy of acknowledgement. I am going to, because I do think that this has torn this board apart over the last 6 or 7 months. This proclamation, the Republicans will do a proclamation, and then the Democrats will come back and do a proclamation. Then the Republicans will come do a proclamation, and then the Democrats will come back and do a proclamation. And then we'll get all of our bases drummed up to come out here, and you better come out here, or the Republicans are going to vote this down, or you better come out here, and the Democrats are going to vote this down. And we then use it as campaign speeches, and we're all guilty of it. In one degree or another, we're all guilty of it, so I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone here, but something that Supervisor Franklin said, and she was the one that really first stepped out on this, and at first I didn't think she was correct, but now I do think she is correct. We really need to come to this board with solutions. We can't be, and we're going to now spend time talking about this, and when we should be talking about how we actually change. So moving forward, I am going to abstain from all proclamations. Whether I agree with them or not, I'm going to abstain from them. I do believe the ultimate goal is, I'm going to pass this out, and something that I want to put on the agenda for next meeting, I think we need to eliminate all board proclamations. And I think we change the process from the board recognizing and taking a vote to giving supervisors the opportunity during supervisors' time to proclaim, commend whatever group they want to, without using it as a political, whether it's intended or not to use it as a political ploy, but a way to further divide the Board of County Supervisors. So I think let's just, in the new model, Supervisor Bodie would still be able to come here and talk about whatever group he wants to talk about, and it doesn't require a vote. It doesn't put anyone in a bad position. And proclamations and commendations get back to what they were originally intended for, is an area of celebration and commending somebody, instead of political divide and back and forth and this for that. So until we move forward on this, but I don't want to vote against his proclamation. I support him in wanting to recognize this group. So that's why I'm going to abstain, but give my notice of intent to bring forward next board meeting a change to our rules of procedure from the board proclamation and commendation to a supervisor proclamation and commendation.
Supervisor Angry.
Yeah, and Supervisor Canlin, thank you for this, because, after she made that statement about, abstaining from all of these votes, I thought the same thing as well. I do want to say, I know this group, and it's everyday people. So it's about unity for the common man, woman, citizen. So I do support the resolution. I do think also that at some point we need to get to doing the people's business and go to work. I always say action speaks louder than words. So let's go and put action to the ground. So I will be supporting this resolution or this proclamation. But I would hope that going forward we can really just go to work. And I don't think this is political, but I do agree with what you're saying, Supervisor Canlin, that we have these political things that really create a divide. And so I hope going forward we can really just get to work. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Supervisor Bailey. Thank you, Madam Chair. I concur with pretty much everything that's been said thus far. I think that it, unfortunate to say, it's just growing pains, us learning how to do resolutions and proclamations, and I think we've grown to a point where we all agree that we've had that exercise, and so we must get going with the people's business, but I do support the resolution.
Madam Chair.
Supervisor Vega.
I too just want to say that I agree with what my colleagues have stated. What I would ask for all of us is for us to be consistent. If this is the common agreement that we are now saying that we're going to agree to, that we honor it and that we don't just do it for this one time. But I do, Supervisor Bodie, plan on supporting you as well.
So I'm just going to weigh in and say that, I read this and I see some problems with it in that we used to do proclamations for like a National Adoption Week and employee things, and I don't want those to just fall by the wayside. So I'm not suggesting that we just strike all proclamations or recognitions, because I think some of those as a board are really important. And obviously those are the ones that are not political, that make a difference to employees who work here every day, or autism groups and things like that. And so I don't think you're suggesting we get rid of all those, but I would like to have further discussion about, I don't think we should deep six everything.
Madam Chair.
Supervisor Campbell.
I am suggesting we get rid of the board proclamation, because then who decides what's political? To one person up here, it is political, and the other person, it's common sense. That's the challenge. If we really want to, and I'll actually stop. I'll finish out the thought and then stop, because I don't want to take away from Supervisor Bodie's resolution. But at some point, we're going to have to just decide if we're going to keep on doing these proclamations, status quo, business as usual, or if we change it, still allow us to do a proclamation, but just not come from the board. But I'll save that for the discussion.